Yo, welcome to the Players of Life podcast with your host, Adrian Hatcher. This episode, we'll be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Of course, we'll be talking about the Caris Levert trade that went down during the trade deadline, but we'll also talk about the perception that was labeled on them and how Cleveland has really shown people that they're actually one of the top teams in the East. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are now one of the top teams in the East, vying for a playoff contention for the foreseeable future. They have a lot of good young pieces. Darius Garland, Caris Levert, Jarret Allen, Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen. Pretty much they are not only young, but they have certain experience playing on different teams. A lot of these players either got traded to this team or were drafted to this team. Not a lot of homegrown talent to go with it, but that's okay because Cleveland, since the LeBron James era, has struggled to find a new direction. They've struggled to stay afloat, and they struggled to be one of the top teams in the East. And this year, I think everything just kind of accumulated into the success that you see now. And with the Caris Levert trade, I do feel they've gotten considerably better. It was kind of a downer to hear that Collin Sexton was going to be out. You know, he was out pretty early in the season with that Achilles injury. So people probably didn't think Cleveland was going to be making a lot of noise this year. They saw Darius Garland would definitely get more time, which is good for, what they probably will see as a franchise point guard now. And Jarret Allen would also get to work and show that he deserved the contract he got. And then Evan Mobley, your rookie, would definitely get considerably more playing time. You'll want to see what he could bring to your team. But I don't believe the perception was that they would be not only vying for a playoff spot, but they would be a tough out in the playoffs. So what Cleveland has done is they've taken this unconventional three big lineup in Lauri Markkanen, Evan Mobley, and Jarret Allen. And when all three are healthy, they play considerable minutes. And their defense has stayed as one of the top defenses. A lot of people would think, it's a three big man lineup. They're not going to be able to keep up with the quick pace of this small ball lineup that the league is doing now. But they've stayed unconventional, and their team is legit. They have a scoring punch in Darius Garland, who has played out of his mind this year. They have Caris Levert now, who is a bucket. And since he's left Brooklyn, he's had injuries. Yes, he's had to deal with a lot of issues. But when he's healthy and when he stays healthy, him and the Garland duo is one of the best backcourts in the East. You also have Jarret Allen manning the boards, getting the putbacks, doing the hard hustle plays. He's a great big man. He's a considerable upgrade over a lot of the big men in the league right now. And to complement him, you have Evan Mobley, who's thrived in his role. Of course, early in the season, he's gone through his rookie woes. But as the season is going on and as he's dealt with injuries and stuff, but coming back healthy, he's shown what he can bring to this team from an inside to outside perspective. And then you have Lauri Markkanen, who at the time has also dealt with injuries. But he's shown that he actually can play the three well enough that the defense stays afloat and the offense stays elite. So you have natural scores at each position. You have a top 10 defense. Your offense hasn't wavered. Even with the loss of Collin Sexton and Ricky Rubio, they made moves to supplement those losses, such as signing Rajon Rondo, signing Caris Levert. They made the necessary moves to really put them in contention this year. And I think a lot of people didn't believe that was going to be what Cleveland could do. They didn't think that teams such as the Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to really have a chance, when you heard about teams like Brooklyn, Sixers, Boston. But it's kind of been like a flip, and that's what the NBA is all about. The unrealistic but just amazing league that we have. You have players that thrive in certain situations. And now that we're seeing what Cleveland can do, I think that they're going to be a top team for the foreseeable future. 3 to 5 years, and they can only get better They still have to figure out what to do with Colin Sexton. Ricky Rubio did get traded in that Caris Levert deal, but I mean, come on, like the amount of young talent that they have, and if their coach stays on the course and we see what they do in the playoffs this year and they just decide to get even better. I mean, Cleveland is just, they've gotten past the LeBron image. They definitely created their own destination and their own destiny. So watch out for Cleveland, and let's see if they make some noise this year. So without further ado, thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want to support the podcast, please go on Anchor and leave a voice message in Anchor. And if you're listening on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Everything you do is greatly appreciated to support the podcast. And I will see you guys later on the next episode. Peace.